Our next guests today are Julia Stateman and Carol Adams. Welcome.
Thank you.
I am glad you all could be here today. When we first started talking, Julia, about your being on the Channel 6 show, Community Focus on Washington County, I didn't realize at the time, but we are into Black History Month now. It's February. And so it was only fitting that you be here today because we're going to talk about two prominent Black men of Washington County who have been instrumental in the progress of Springfield and Washington County in our history. So, so it's just really a good day for you all to be here.
Yes. Well, thank you.
So, first of all, we want to talk about Lewis Sansbury. So, Julia, you've been working on this project to recognize Lewis Sansbury. So, can you tell me more about that?
Yes, we've been working on raising money to get him a bench, and with his name on it, and a little write-up over, of what he had done here in Washington County. He was responsible for burying over 180 people during the cholera epidemic back in 1833. And another woman by the name of Matilda Sims, they helped to feed the sick and clothe the dead after they took their last breath. They helped to clean them up, and Lewis carried them single-handedly to the graveyard to bury them. So they're buried up alongside Cemetery Hill here in Springfield. And then I believe some are buried out at St. Rose Cemetery here in Washington County. But the people of the town just thought so highly of him, and a lot of them just left their keys with him to their businesses and also to their homes. That's how well he was liked here in Springfield, so that he could just do what he had to do in lieu of, helping the sick. And so, like I said, he and this Matilda Sims, they were responsible for doing this. And I just thought that this man had no family left, as far as I know, And I was walking through town one day and I saw all these benches for these other people here, family members, here in town that are deceased now. And I just thought, who better than Lewis Sansbury? Someone needs to look into maybe seeing about getting a bench and having a bench erected to him. So I spoke with Mayor Wakefield about it, and she said, well, I'll have to talk to him down at City Hall about it. And I believe she did. But then in the meantime, when I asked her if we could have it, after it was erected, to have it on the side of Sheer Magic, which belongs to Betty Ellery, the beautician, Black beautician here in Springfield in town. And she says, well, we'll have to talk to Betty about that as well. So when she talked to Betty about it, and then she asked me to talk to Betty about it, Betty got on board with me, and so we started having different fundraisers, in order to raise the money for this bench. And so we've had the first fundraiser we had, and City Hall was nice enough to let us have their conference room for the first fundraiser for a bunco party. So we had a bunco party, and we raised quite a bit of money with that. And then after that, we had a bake sale and a raffle, and we made really good off the bake sale, and we did pretty good with the raffle. We raffled a $35 meat bundle from Boone's Butcher Shop, and so I think we have done really well doing these fundraisers. And we do have another fundraiser planned for in September. It'll be a casino trip to the boat.
Oh, that sounds fun.
So everyone, mark your calendar for the next upcoming event, you know. And then, of course, we've had people to donate quite a bit. And so we're grateful for that, you know. We're just really grateful for that.
Now, let's see. The bench costs how much?
Well, the smaller benches are somewhere around the range of in the range of $600, I think, to $700, and that's not including the plaque that's on them. And we believe that the larger benches are around $1,200 or $1,300.
Yeah. That bench program started under Mayor Mike Hayden.
Oh, it did?
He donated the first, he paid for the first bench out of his mayor's salary.
Oh, really?
And so his bench is down there with his name on it beside Betty's shop there on the corner there at the Louisville store. And and then thereafter people could purchase benches in memory or in honor of.
Right.
But I think it's so appropriate that you want, and I hope you make enough money to get a big bench for Louis Sansbury, because certainly, I mean, he not only did he bury the dead, but as you mentioned, all these residents of Springfield gave them the keys to their businesses and their homes because they left town in order to avoid the epidemic and trusted him to take care of things. He stayed here facing the chance of getting cholera himself on a daily basis. I mean, that's what you call a real hero.
Right.
And those people were able to come back here and after the epidemic, and so he saved lives as well.
Yes, he did.
No, I don't know how many, of course, but many of those people might have succumbed to the epidemic, to the disease themselves.
Right.
So certainly he saved lives and buried others, and I'm just really glad that you decided to take that project on. And
thank you.
And so we want to tell people how they can donate too, Julia. Besides taking that chance for the raffle ticket to the boat in September, if they can get raffle tickets now, can they get those? Oh no! Chances now?
No, I'm sorry. We've already raffled off the meat bundle.
Oh no, but the trip to, how are you going to do that? The trip to the boat?
Well, Betty Ellery just gave me the paper yesterday on it, and since we have a good little while before September, I really hadn't had a chance to really read, the information much.
Okay.
But we will be letting you all know, letting the public know about it at a later date.
Okay.
We were just trying to get this out of the way first.
Right, right, okay. Now, so if someone wants to donate at this time, how do they do that?
Well, it was an article in the paper, and it stayed in the Springfield Sun for, I'd say, about 4 weeks. And it had Betty Ellery's name and her shop, name, and then it had my phone number, where you could call me, but you would take the money, or what have you, to her shop.
Okay.
So that she wouldn't be bothered with phone calls.
Right.
By her being a beautician. She gets enough phone calls.
Right, right. She's busy enough.
Right.
So, Julia, can you give the Channel 6 viewing audience your phone number and then Betty's information as well?
Yes. Betty is located at Cross Main Street, and her business is Sheer Magic Beauty Salon. And the money can be taken there, but if you need any additional information, you could call me at 859-336-7275.
Okay. And so if someone wants to write a check as a donation, what do they make that out to?
Just make it out to Betty Ellery. We have opened up an account at the Springfield State Bank. So you can make the check out to Betty Ellery. And you might put on it care of Louis Sansbury Project.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so that accounts in the state bank. So once you get the $1,300 or so, you'll be able to get that bench ordered through the city, and with this plaque, and what's going to be on that, and that will be located. The bench will then be put beside
on the side of her shop.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need another bench along there too.
Oh yes. And we're hoping that we will be able to have a dedication in February, since it's Black History Month. We may not have the bench by then, but we are going to have a dedication for it. We want the Springfield Sun to come up.
And Channel 6.
And Channel 6.
Might be able to be there.
Yes,
And for the dedication ceremony, which will be this February?
Yes,
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And
hopefully we'll have enough money for the bench to have had it ordered, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, yes, we do have enough money for Mr. Sansbury's bench.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay. So okay.
I didn't say that because we're working on another bench, but I do just want to reiterate that we do have enough money for Mr. Sansbury's bench.
Okay, so we've got enough for his bench.
Right.
Now we're collecting for Melwood Hawker's bench.
Yes.
And Carol, you're going to tell us about that?
Like I said, Julia Stegman and Betty Ellery are on the committee, and when they told me it was for Melwood, then I was ready to help because he was a father to me, and he was loved by everybody here in Springfield, being the jailer, and so I've really been helping them, and so I don't know who. I think one of them came up with the idea of including Melwood, because Melwood was one of the first black jailers in Washington County. And first elected jailer, let's put it that way, first elected black jailer in Washington County, and he got more votes than than anybody ever got. And also, I think he was the first in Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what the write-up said. But I mean, Melwood was a good person, and anybody in Springfield that knows him, and I think along with him that he deserves one, because he not only was a jailer, he would take his money and would buy food for the inmates. And anybody that was in there can tell you, he would go to Snappy Grills and get them hamburgers and milkshakes, anything they want. If they were cold, he'd get an extra jacket. He'd go out of his way. And also, he was very helpful to Bubba Robinson, the county clerk. Yeah, when it snowed, he would go and get Bubba and bring him here, help him in, clean out the sidewalk. I mean, I don't think that was part of a jailer's job. Plus, he was a custodian too, I guess, at the courthouse. But like I said, he is well deserved a bench. And like I said, Mr. Sansbury is, he may not have done what Mr. Sansbury done, and we just can't, I can't remember this excellent by Mr. Sansbury. What he deserves one too. But Melwood was just a Washington Countyan that really, like I said, went over and beyond to help anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, it wasn't, nobody minded going to jail, Carol, because Melwood took care of him.
Right, he did. He did
and so, like you said, he'd go get him a burger and down the Snappy Grill,
right,
out of his own money.
Out of his own money, and his salary was maybe 10 times less than what the jailer got after him. I mean, his salary was nothing. I mean, and he done it for love, and he was just that kind of person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very caring.
Yeah, very caring.
And everybody
Yes,
in
he was.
Springfield knew Melwood.
Yes.
Yes, they did.
And because, like you said, he was also the custodian, but he kept everything spick and span.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
And he would go way above the call of duty
Right.
to help somebody.
He would. He put those chains on that car and go, like I said, get Bubba Robinson. He would come and get me for work. I never had to worry about not going to work because of snow or ice. Because when nobody else was on the road, Melwood was.
Yes, yes, he was.
Yes. He might have had the best of car, but it got him where he wanted to go.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, and so, he's very deserving of this, I think.
And
Yes.
I don't think Melwood, you all were kind of like his adopted family.
Yes, yes.
Because he didn't have any family himself, I
Well,
don't think.
Well, yes,
Maybe-
he's got one son, Melwood Robinson, in Lebanon. This is his natural son.
Okay.
Melwood, But me and my 3 sisters, he just adopted us. I mean, he got our first car. He nicknamed Ever, one of our children, and he was a dad to me. He was a dad to us, and yes, and like I said.
Now, Melwood, well, of course, he was jailer here when we had an actual jail in Springfield
Right.
at our courthouse,
Right.
which, of course, we haven't had in many years now.
Right.
And so, let's see, how long was Melwood the jailer, or how many years?
It was a paper.
Quite a few.
Was it 11?
It had to have been.
Yeah, I'm not
Well,
really sure,
I know
Lisa,
mine maybe 3 terms.
but it could have been.
12 years.
He was right until what Steve Harden, is that his name? Steve
Steve Harden.
he was the jailer till Steve took it over.
Yeah. And I think that the jail was here during the whole time Melwood was jailer.
I want to say so.
Did it close right before his term maybe ended or something? And the jail was, at the bottom there of the courthouse. And so he certainly he did a lot of things for a lot of people in this community.
He did.
If you walked in the courthouse and you needed something, he was there taking care of
He
it.
would.
Right.
Yeah.
Could I just say something?
Certainly.
Well, I just wanted to say he'd even help people when on the days that they got their commodities. Well, he was just very helpful in helping people get their commodities, and he'd put them in his car and just take them wherever they need to go, to get them to, their destination.
Yeah.
But he was just an all-around good, helpful person. He really was.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was the kind of person that would give to anybody, but never wanted nothing back. Never. He just, that's the way he was. I mean, you know how some people give and wait to see what you're going to get back? That wasn't Melwood.
No.
That wasn't Melwood. And when I was younger, my father left when I was young, and so I forget, I remember one Father's Day, I went and bought him a country ham sandwich and potato chips and a drink because he was working on the car. And I gave it to him, and I cried all the way home. I said, all these years I've had a daddy, I just didn't know it. It may not be my father, but he was my daddy. And he, like I said, he was just a good man.
Yes, he was.
And not only to us, but like Julia said, he'll do for anybody. He would.
Yeah.
That was him.
He did a lot of volunteer work.
Right.
Yes, he did.
He
In
did.
the community, he sure did. And I don't know how Bubba would have gotten along had it not been for Melwood.
Right.
I know.
Exactly. That's true.
Oh, he
And,
just adored him.
Yeah. And so the other bench will go for Melwood and a jailer, Melwood Honker. Now, let's see, Melwood died in what year?
91.
I think he had cancer.
Yes.
And
February the 1st. Yes, today. Yes.
Oh, okay.
February
Oh,
1st.
for goodness sake.
1990. Yeah. That's why I
What
stopped
fitting
at that.
day.
Yeah.
For this.
And how old was he?
He was 70. He was in his, about 73 maybe. Well, I had his obituary, I should have bought, but yeah, about 73. Yeah, it was cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Well, we sure do miss Melwood.
Yes, I know.
Of course, Mr. Stansberry was before my time.
No, Sandsby.
Sansberry, right. He was before our time.
Right.
And Louis Sansberry, yeah. And but Melwood, we all remember it very well.
I didn't realize you remembered him.
I do. Yes, indeed. And so I'm glad that. So we'll work now toward the bench, and that will still be through you, Julia, and through Betty.
Yes,
If anyone wants to donate to the bench,
Right.
You've collected enough money through your fundraisers for Louis Sansberry,
Right.
and there's going to be that ceremony for him this month.
Right.
But what about Melwood? Will there be that'll be or is there going to be?
Oh, well, we'll probably have to work on a later date
Right.
for him. You know,
Right, right.
for his dedication.
Right.
Yes.
So, but okay. So the dedication ceremony we'll learn more about later. Get the details on that. But if anyone would like to donate toward the bench for Jailer Melwood Hawker, then they need to contact Julia Statement to get any information at, what was that number again, Julia?
859-336-7275. And we already do have, hoping that we do have some for him already.
Right. Okay.
But that's
Okay.
and they could also go to, take the donations to Betty Ellery's shop, Sheer Magic,
Okay.
as well.
On Cross Main Street.
Lisa,
Yes,
could I say something? I was in Betty's shop, and a gentleman come in. I've never seen him before in my life, and he gave her a donation for Mr. Louis Sansberry. He said his mother was a Sansberry, but he said he don't know if it's in relation, but that he he come in and gave. I've never seen him. He's from Springfield.
Black man?
No, it was a white man.
Yeah, because Louis Sansberry took the slave name, his last name. His slave owners, his slave owners were Sansberries, so that's where he got his last name from.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, so I could see.
Yeah, that guy.
Him being white. Yeah.
He brought it in. He was real proud to give it to Betty. Said he
Well,
wanted
good.
to donate. He said he missed the bake sale because he'd heard about it, but so he just brought a donation, handed to her. I thought that was very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had some nice donations from people,
Yeah.
and we really do appreciate them.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know, and that people have been generous, and you usually find that here in Springfield and Washington County. I've determined through the years.
Right.
So, and is there anything else you would like to say?
Well, I'd just like to say we thank you, and I'm sure Carol feels the same way.
Yes, I
We
do.
thank you all for having us today and being able to talk about these two gentlemen.
Yep.
Yes.
And what a contribution they made to Springfield and Washington County.
Right.
Right.
And so it makes me think, Carol, I have to say this in closing, it makes me think about your mother, Lulu Dawson,
She was a
who's no
sweetheart.
longer with us. And but she was very active in the community here as well. And she took up many causes and was involved in a lot of things.
Yes.
And so we're certainly grateful for her, and may she rest in peace.
Yes.
Right.
So, and so thank you all very much for being here today, and we hope that the Channel 6 viewing audience will remember this and be able to help us out, particularly during Black History Month.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa.